Hey Apex Agents, Mobius Y here once again with another video from Mass Effect Andromeda's multiplayer. Today's video is the first in many to come because we're going over a character build this time around. So I'm going to be splitting this video up into two sections, and I'll probably be doing that from this point onwards, where the first video will be a breakdown of the character build as well as the weapon and consumables that I tend to use, and then the second video accompanying it will be general gameplay where I use the build that I just showcased. So today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the Salarian Infiltrator. This is the first character that I got up to level 20, and he's actually a carryover character from Mass Effect 3 in that he's almost identical, even with the same power setup, except instead of proximity mine, he now has sticky grenade. He's also a very robust kind of character in that his passive abilities combined with his active abilities in general give him a really interesting level of flexibility in how you can build this character. So the build that I'm actually going to go over today focuses largely on gun damage as well as team support. Now, me being me, I've always been a kind of support-oriented kind of player. Whenever I play a game such as Smite or possibly even World of Tanks, I'm always thinking about supporting the team as best as possible, trying to keep other people alive, trying to just, give everybody a hand as best as I can. So you'll see that when I go over the specific power evolutions that I chose for this Salarian Infiltrator build. Now, as I said, this thing's main focus is on maximum weapon damage output, since it's not like the human infiltrator where you have a combat passive that increases your weapon damage immensely at all times. So the Salarian Infiltrator is able to make better use of his Tactical Cloak damage because he actually gets a pretty big bonus to his weapon damage whenever he uses a tech power if you take a certain passive evolution. So without further ado, we're going to break down the powers, and I'm going to discuss my decision making behind why I did what I did. So first up, we have Sticky Grenade. I only took this to 3 ranks. This gives you the extra power cell so that you get a second grenade that you can toss around, as well as a slight increase in the damage. This is one where you don't really want to sacrifice this if possible. However, as I said, to get all the ability evolutions that I wanted to combine in the passives as well as with Energy Drain and Tactical Cloak, I had to give up on something, and in this case it was Sticky Grenade. Now, it is totally doable to take Sticky Grenade to rank 6 and just max it out for base damage, grenade capacity, and either anti-armor or anti-shield, and just make your Salarian Infiltrator a grenade spamming jackass like you would with a human infiltrator, because sticky grenades are very powerful. The base damage for them is 1100. That's about as powerful as a single shot from a good grade Widow, for example, or a low grade Ishare. Not quite that strong, but because they're a power cell ability, you can spam them. So you can do lots of area damage very quickly with sticky grenades. So if you so chose, you could definitely put more ranks into Sticky Grenade however you see fit. You could even go for more radius grenade capacity and then choose anti-shield or anti-armor. That's entirely up to you, but for this particular build, I only took Sticky Grenade up to rank 3 as a kind of oh shit sort of power, where if I'm in a bit of a dire situation, I could chuck a Sticky Grenade on the face of, say, a raider or some other kind of mook that's giving me problems right in my face, and it will, at the very least, cause a pretty big stagger or possibly cause them to panic when the Sticky Grenade latches onto them. Now, Tactical Cloak. This is the bread and butter of infiltrators. So I took this all the way to rank 6. For rank 4, I took the extra damage bonus because this adds another 40% gun damage bonus, 50% power damage bonus, and 50% melee damage bonus. This is pretty huge considering the base damage bonus from Tactical Cloak to both your gun and your powers is already 50% and 60% to your melee. So adding another 40% to your gun damage gives you a total of a 90% damage bonus just from popping Cloak to your gun. You get a 100% power damage bonus and a total of 110% melee damage bonus. So taking rank 4B in Tactical Cloak allows you to change your playstyle on this character however you see fit. You can do just fine making a Salarian Infiltrator melee character if you take this damage bonus on rank 4 of Tactical Cloak. There's just a lot of options that open up to you when you take the damage bonus. The recharge speed is pretty big. A 30% reduction on the recharge speed when the recharge speed is already 15 seconds. So that'll shave off about another 3 or 4 seconds normally. But the thing about Tactical Cloak is if you use a power or shoot your gun before the timer runs out, before the full duration is up, then Tactical Cloak always recharges in, I believe it's 4 seconds in Mass Effect Andromeda. It might be 5. But so long as you are breaking Cloak before the full duration ends, you will always have a fairly low recharge speed anyways. So I didn't really see any need to taking the recharge speed at rank 4. Now at rank 5 we have two pretty good options here. We have the speed evolution, which I did not pick, which gives you plus 20% movement speed while cloaked. I'll go over that a little bit more later on once we go into the passives. Instead I took duration, which gives you another 50% duration. This couples with the rank 3 duration evolution, so another quarter on the the total duration of Tactical Cloak. So you're looking at a good about 10 seconds or so of overall Tactical Cloak time, which is pretty sweet. This gives you a lot of time to move around while dropping aggro from your character onto your teammates, so that any of your tankier teammates, such as a Vanguard or something, can just start taking more fire than you, as you just want to slip around the battlefield unnoticed and whatnot. This gives you plenty of time to relocate out of a very bad situation, get to another part of the map where there's no enemies around, and this is more than long enough to give you time to run up to a device and activate the device objective with time to spare in your cloak, especially when we take a look at the passives a little later. Now, rank 6, you have two very good options for rank 6 of Tactical Cloak. Now, to start things off, I actually chose rank 6B of Tactical Cloak, where Tactical Cloak remains active briefly after attacking. Damages bonuses remain in effect during this time. Now, it's actually been proven that when you break out of Tactical Cloak by casting a power or shooting your gun, you still maintain a damage bonus for 2 seconds anyways, just like you did in Mass Effect 3. It was the same kind of gimmick where breaking out of Tactical Cloak, you still have 2 seconds of a total damage bonus. So if you were using a full auto weapon such as an N7 Hurricane or like a Revenant Assault Rifle on an Infiltrator, you wouldn't have to take this evolution to make use of that huge increase in gun damage bonus for 2 seconds. But the cloak effect actually still applies for 2 seconds after breaking out of cloak with the combat cloak evolution. Now, it's not quite proven whether or not this actually increases the duration of the damage bonus as well to a total of 4 seconds instead of just keeping it at 2. Not quite sure if that's a thing or not, but the general gist of it is that having combat cloak active is it adds another 2 seconds to your cloaking duration briefly after attacking. So it keeps a little bit of aggro off of you. You don't immediately get targeted as soon as you shoot somebody. You have a couple seconds where if you're using something like a one-shot sniper, for example, you could quickly relocate or something. Now, rank 6A, Escape Artist. The cloak no longer prevents health and shield regeneration. This is still a very good option to pick if you don't really care for the combat cloak very much. And this is actually what I rolled with for the majority of when I played the Salarian Infiltrator, but I decided to try out the combat cloak to see if I could just kind of eyeball whether or not it does grant an increased duration to the total Tactical Cloak bonus. As I said, you already have a 2-second damage bonus when you break out of Tactical Cloak by shooting your gun or casting a power before the timer runs out. But I've been kind of toying with this, and I'm not 100% sure on whether or not you actually have an increased damage duration by taking the combat cloak. Nonetheless, I do like the interesting aspect that you don't immediately decloak after casting a power or shooting your gun before the Tactical Cloak wears off. So if you want a little bit more survivability, actually a lot more survivability, the Escape Artist evolution is totally doable. You can pick that. It is entirely up to you. Whether or not you want to pick 6A or 6B on Tactical Cloak. Or you could even drop rank 6 of Tactical Cloak so that you can put more points into something like Sticky Grenade, for example, and take it up to rank 4 if you so choose. So next up we have Energy Drain. I built this for, as I said, team support. It's a little bit wonky, but it works extremely well in, as I said, the team support role. It's not I don't necessarily use it for my own individual. What's the word I'm looking for? My own individual survivability. I also use it if I hear a nearby teammate has low shields or if they're taking damage or something like that, just to give them back a little bit of their own shields. So I took it all the way to 6. At rank 1, it's already a detonator power, which is great. So you can set off combos with any ammo consumable that you're using. I personally usually use something like cryo or incendiary ammo pretty often on this character. So it's great being able to set off your own combos with an energy drain. Rank 2, the extra recharge speed is great. The increased damage and shields restored at rank 3 is also very handy. Now at rank 4, you can go for 20% more damage or 20% more shields restored, stacking on top of the effectiveness of the rank 3 evolution. But I went with greater recharge speed on this. I wanted to try and have the cooldown as low as possible on my energy drain, just so that I can pop it in serious clutch situations as often as I can, just to keep myself and my teammates' shields up and give us quite a bit more survivability. Now at rank 5, you have 2 options here. You have the extended drain, which restores additional shields over time, and the target is primed for combo detonations for the same duration. For the same duration. This restores an additional 6% of your shields per second, and that lasts for 4 seconds. Now, during those 4 seconds, any target that you have energy drained is also primed for a combo detonation. This sets them up for tech combos, which is really good to synergize with your team. The other option, rank 5B, basically gives it an impact radius of 8 meters, which is a pretty decent impact radius. That's a bit bigger than the base radius of a frag grenade, I believe. And you restore additional shields per target by 33%. This affects up to 3 additional nearby enemies and grants added delayed shield restoration per additional enemy hit. So you can get an additional 100% additional shields restored if you manage to hit 4 enemies, 1 being the target and an additional 3 within the radius with an energy drain. So you can restore a lot of your own shields by doing this for sure. But I felt the more kind of team-oriented aspect was priming things for combo detonations. Tech bursts are actually very powerful for taking down shields, and they have a lingering damage over time effect on shielded enemies as well, which is fantastic. Now, the rank 6 options, I went with rank 6B, which is the team drain. Initial draining effect also restores the shields of allies near the user. Ally shields restored 50%, ally effect radius 8 meters, and plus 30% shields restored. So this will still restore some shields on nearby allies, which is super handy for things like hack objectives, upload objectives when you have at least one person close by you, or if you're playing a kind of campier sort of strategy where most of your team or all of your team is hanging out in one area, you're just kind of holding one location. This is actually very useful. It gives your whole team a lot of survivability, and when playing with randoms and pugs, especially those who are not quite as skilled, I suppose would be the term, as experienced Mass Effect Andromeda veterans or even Mass Effect multiplayer veterans, it helps keep them alive. It helps keep them in the game. It helps them keep their gun shooting. It helps them keep them casting powers and setting off your combos. The rank 6A evolution for Energy Drain increases both standard damage and damage bonus against shields and synthetic enemies. You get plus 20% base damage, but you also get plus 40% damage versus shields and plus 15% damage versus synthetics. Things like the Hydra, Assault Mech, or just general remnant enemies. Stuff like that. I don't feel this is nearly as good as the Team Drain evolution. The biggest weakness of this Team Drain evolution is that you have to take Energy Drain all the way up to rank 6 in order to get it. And in order to put Energy Drain up to rank 6, I don't feel that this damage evolution is really worth it. Unless you went for a heavy kind of area Energy Drain and went maximum damage with the impact radius and then went for additional damage so that you can actually affect a lot of enemies within a wide radius with a really big energy drain. Plus the fact that it would be a detonator, so any enemies that are primed in that radius would be detonated for a combo if they were primed by something else. So that was my thinking behind speccing out energy drain. Now, offensive tech. This is the tech passive on the Salarian Infiltrator. I feel it's kind of inferior to the combat passive that the human Infiltrator gets, because the human Infiltrator is able to make better use of its gunplay by increasing the base magazine size, as well as increasing the overall weapon damage and weapon stability and weapon accuracy. The list goes on. I feel that it's inferior in terms of trying to dish out damage as best as possible, but it does have its own uses. I took this one all the way to rank 6 to make use of the rank 6A evolution, and I'll get to that in a minute. So the first rank gives you additional power damage. The second rank gives you your first bit of additional weapon damage, and that's pretty much the only bit of passive weapon damage you get out of this offensive tech passive tree. The third rank gives you even more power damage. Now for rank number 4, I went with an increase in my power enhancement, which gives me plus 10% power damage and plus 20% to all power effect durations. This one is huge because it gives me an additional duration on both the energy drain, priming enemies for a tech combo, as well as the shield restoration. But more importantly, it gives me 20% extra duration to Tactical Cloak even further. So this gives me another 2 seconds or so to Tactical Cloak. So the Tactical Cloak on the Salarian Infiltrator can be for a very long time. And with extra movement speed on Tactical Cloak, or possibly even in his other passive, you can cloak and run laps around the map before decloaking with this power enhancement passive. I felt it's really handy for being able to sneak around the battlefield and just apply aggro to other teammates, especially other teammates who can tank better, like Human Vanguard, for example. The combo detonation evolution I felt is just... I don't really see the point in increasing the damage and radius of combos, considering the damage of combos is already piss poor. The radius of combos is pretty decent, so that could be a bit of a bonus, but the biggest thing was the increase on crap combo damage. Well, increasing crap just gives you more crap, in my opinion, so that's why I went with rank 4A. For rank 5, you have 2 options here. You get plus 30% power damage bonus to shields, or plus 30% power damage bonus to armor. I actually went with anti-shield on this one, and I was mostly thinking about the utility of energy drain with this, but it's definitely viable to take the plus 30% power damage bonus to armor, especially if you maxed out your sticky grenades to rank 6. You could put your sticky grenades to rank 6 and then apply an anti-shield ability to your sticky grenades, and then take this passive anti-armor ability in your passive. So that way your sticky grenades still do bonus damage against both types of defenses. Or you could simply go all out and do your sticky grenades for anti-armor and take the anti-armor evolution in this offensive tech tree, or vice versa to anti-shields. Either way, you can balance them out so that your sticky grenades are good against both types of defenses, or just really powerful against one type of defense. In this case, since I only put sticky grenade up to rank 3, and I'm not really relying on sticky grenade spam, I only did the plus 30% power damage bonus to shields. Energy drain already has a slight damage bonus to shields, so this simply increases it. Now, the real reason that I took offensive tech up to rank 6 is because of this rank 6A ability. The rank 6B ability does give you some additional stability and accuracy to your guns, as well as really good weapon weight capacity. I don't really think this is a very good choice unless you're running around with a heavy shotgun on this guy. And considering that the only decent shotguns in the game right now are the N7 Piranha and the Hesh, I saw no reason to take this. It was just my personal opinion. You could put this on if you're more of a Talon user, I suppose, which I actually use, but I don't really feel it's necessary because I can still mount a scope on the Talon to increase the accuracy and tighten up the pellet spread. But this rank 6A evolution, using a power briefly increases weapon damage. You get a 30% weapon damage bonus, and this lasts for 5 seconds. So couple this with Tactical Cloak, which gives you, what is it, a 90% weapon damage bonus for 2 seconds when you're breaking Tactical Cloak, plus an additional 30% from this passive ability. Whenever you use a tech power, that really cranks up the burst damage potential of the Salarian Infiltrator. And I wanted to make use of that. This is a really good choice if you like using single-shot, high-powered single-shot sniper rifles like the Widow or the Ishare on your Salarian Infiltrator. Definitely go for this because it will drastically increase the power of the next shot you take. And it will last for 5 seconds immediately after cloaking, or you can cloak and then cast an energy drain, and then you have about 2 seconds to keep making use of that damage bonus from cloak to get your shot off, and then you still make use of this technical synergy weapon damage buff from offensive tech. Now lastly, we have his second passive, which is support systems. My kind of thing, support systems. This tends to increase his shield regeneration and whatnot, as well as his overall health and shields. At rank 1, you get shield health. You get health and shield regeneration delay reductions, and at rank 2, you get bonus to max health and max shields. If you want to go as tanky as possible with max health and max shields, you only need to take this to rank 2 in support systems, which will cost you 3 character points. Personally, I don't really think that would be worth it. You would probably want to take it all the way to rank 3 for additional melee damage, in which case you're probably making a melee character anyways, so you want to take rank 4B for the additional 40% in melee damage. However, in the support systems tech passive, I took rank 4A, which is tech duration plus 30% to all power effect durations. Again, on top of the duration bonus on Tactical Cloak, the duration bonus from offensive tech here, and the duration bonus from support systems. We have a really, really long cloaking period here, which in my opinion is just fantastic. Now, rank 5, this can go either way. You can make this a very tanky character by giving him an additional plus 20% max health and plus 20% max shields, as well as tacking on plus 15% movement speed. So you can put this on your Salarian Infiltrator if you really like the movement speed bonus in rank 5B of Tactical Cloak. That will make this character run around pretty fast when you activate your cloak. You won't have the maximum duration available since you skip out on this 50% bonus duration, but you can still get a pretty good duration bonus from rank 4 in offensive tech and rank 4A of support systems as well. So you could still run around at quite high speeds. Well, not necessarily, high speeds, but pretty accelerated speeds with this ability active. But as I said, this is more of a kind of a support setup. I like this rank 5B evolution. Provides damage resistance while reviving an ally and for 5 seconds afterwards. Fully restores shields upon revival. Bonuses apply to you and the revived ally. You get 120 damage resistance during the revive and for 5 seconds after the revive. Now, how damage resistance works is at 100 damage resistance, the incoming damage you take from any source is reduced by 50% approximately. So this gives you a little bit more than that, probably more like 60% damage reduction, possibly. Either way, that's pretty huge. And you and the ally that you revived maintain that damage resistance for 5 seconds after they get up. So if you manage to cloak and go in and revive a guy who's in a really bad situation, who is just completely surrounded by enemies shooting at them, this gives them a massive chance at getting out of that situation alive, so you don't have to go back and revive them a second time. And it also helps that they get the full shield restore when you revive them. That's just a huge, huge team play aspect kind of thing. And upon looking at that, I knew that I was really going to enjoy it. I do like helping out my teammates with this ability. Being able to go around and much more safely revive people, not just because I have Tactical Cloak, but because I offer damage resistance as well as fully restore their shields when they get up off the ground. It just gives them a huge edge over simply being revived by any other person on the field who does not have this kind of a passive ability. Offers a major amount of survival to your teammates when you're picking them up. It's just I really can't express enough praise for the utility of this. And considering that this is a bit of a support build with heavy emphasis on gunplay, it just seemed a logical choice. Now, rank 6 I skipped out on for support systems. I don't think these two options at rank 6 are very worth it. Not even close for going to rank 6 in this tech passive. These two options at rank 5 are absolutely huge. Giving your allies a much bigger chance of survival right after reviving them, or making your character a lot tankier by giving him even more max health and shields, and giving him a passive boost in movement speed. I feel those options are way bigger than the options available at rank 6 for support systems. You have the shield reset once every 10 seconds. Using attack power causes shields to recharge immediately rather than after the standard delay. That sounds kind of neat. It could make you fairly tanky, especially if you combine this shield regen delay with something like energy drain, which already restores your shields for you. And then the other option is hitting enemies with powers causes them to temporarily deal less damage. I don't think causing enemies to deal less damage is as big of a debuff as one that simply causes them to take more damage. I can see a use for this if you spec your energy drain for the radius evolution, where you can affect 3 or 4 enemies at one time within an 8-meter radius of your target. And that could probably be a much more significant difference over simply just taking this evolution and then not putting many points in energy drain at all, or skipping the radius evolution whatsoever. But overall, it just doesn't really sound like a very cool thing. Neither of these options sound like they're really worth going 6 points into support systems for. So I stopped at rank 5. And because I put so many points invested in the passives to make full use of the duration of Tactical Cloak, as well as these supportive abilities, including the weapon damage bonus at rank 6 of offensive tech, as I said, I had to skimp out on the sticky grenades, which is probably the biggest no-no that I have going on in this build. Nevertheless, if you're really good at your gunplay and you don't necessarily have to rely on something like sticky grenade to get you out of bad situations, or to simply take down bosses really quickly, then this build is actually, it's kind of tanky, but it also makes your allies a little bit tanky too. Not necessarily tanky, but it just gives them better survival options. And you also have a really nice primer and detonator power with energy drain, so you can set off your own combos. My personal preference, I like to use the Talon. I don't even have this at grade 10, but it can still do loads of damage, especially against the weaker characters. It really helps take down bosses pretty well. The Talon is just an all-around really good weapon. As you can see, the recharge speed is still 100% on the power recharge speed there. So the Talon is quite a nice lightweight weapon. You could use other lightweight weapons, such as, say, a grade 10 Charger even, but especially things like an N7 Hurricane, stuff like that. You want to kind of stick to... You just want to stick to things that are nice and light, that don't really hamper your cooldown speeds for things like Energy Drain or Tactical Cloak, because those are the bread and butter for this build. I also like sticking on either Guerrilla upgrade or Combatives upgrade, because both of them increase the damage dealt by pistols by an additional 10%. And for consumables, since this guy's largely around gunplay, I stick on some kind of ammunition. I personally like cryo ammo. Either grade 2 or grade 3 is pretty decent. For the moderate increase in weapon damage. And of course, since I'm using the Talon, I like to stick on a pistol rail amp, either grade 2 or grade 3. And stacking all those up, combined with the overall damage bonuses from Tactical Cloak and the offensive tech passive at rank 6, it makes it so that every little while, whenever you can pop your cloak again, this guy does some pretty good burst damage. So you want to make sure you have a good weapon in on the fight. If you have like a high-grade Piranha or something like that that's light enough where you could run around with this, you could mount something like a shotgun. But as I said, it has to be a pretty high-grade weapon that's not terribly heavy and encumbering your cooldown speeds. So that's basically it with a breakdown of the character build. Excuse me. If you would like to see this build in action, there will be a link in the description below showing some gold gameplay where I use the Salarian shooty support kind of build. Just follow the link in the description below if you'd like to see some gameplay. If this is good enough for you and you'd like to try this build out, let me know how it goes in the comments below. In the meantime, this has been Mobius. Thanks very much for watching. I really hope you found this helpful and educational. And I'll see you on the battlefield. Good luck, Apex agents.